Now, I know the exact key that I need to use because I had experimented already because I've already used this beat to make a song. It's on my MySpace page. It's called Checking Me Out. And initially, to show you how it's done, you're going to hear that song. I'm going to do some parts from that song there, right here inside this session here, and show you how I would record it and how I would record the rough draft. Not how I actually recorded the hook, because again, if you want to see how I record hooks and how I do all the arranging, that's in my tutorial DVD. I'm just going to show you how I would do the rough draft if I was coming up with it. So let's just pretend like I don't know what the hook says, and I'm just going to show you how the recording would go. Now, when I start recording, you're not going to see me hit the record button here because I have a key command already set for record as in your number pad section of my keyboard. To the far right of your keyboard, there's the enter key, and then right above is the plus sign. I have mine assigned to the plus sign so that whenever I hit that plus sign, when I'm next to my microphone, let's say if I'm doing a real recording and I have this real long extension from my keyboard, USB extension cable about 12 feet long, and I'm next to my microphone, I can hit the plus symbol on my keyboard and it will actually enable recording. It's kind of like a remote transport. Anyway, so that's why you're not going to see me hit the record button right here, because I'm going to do it on my keyboard. So without further ado, I'll just go ahead and record a little something here. Turn that down. Now I can hear myself. We'll see how it would sound. I know you like it, so I'ma cruise real slow when I'm passing by. Alright, so I'll just record that. I know you like it, so I'ma cruise real slow when I'm passing by. Now it's gonna look low here. I know you like it, so I'ma cruise real slow when I'm passing by. So as you can see already, without me even doing my smooth auto-tune method, alright, that I have a video tutorial for purchase on how to do that. It sounds already smooth because I was working the auto-tune. I've already previously done this. We're going to do some freestyle shit here, okay? Don't worry, we're going to do that. But I already knew what I was going to do. So once you know what you got to do as far as the melody, and you know the lyrics, and you've already done the rough draft, actually doing the real recording isn't going to be hard. Now, this don't sound spectacular because I'm on this cheap mic. I'm not standing up. I mean, there's all kinds of other excuses I could throw out right now as to why this isn't sounding spectacular, all right? If you want to hear something more spectacular, I wouldn't say spectacular, but, I mean, it sounds tight. Go to my MySpace page and hear the song Checking Me Out, all right? Or SoundCloud. Go to my SoundCloud page and you can hear it in 320 kilobits per second, MP3 higher quality. And what I did right here is I didn't actually turn up everything. I just turned up the waveform view. And you wouldn't really record, okay, so nobody tries to throw that out there. You don't really record your vocals that low. You'd want to record with, around this should be in decibels. You want your peaks around -12. This is a personal preference. If you want to record hotter than that, then go ahead. If you have an external limiter or compressor that's going to compress your peaks and prevent them from overloading, once it gets to the 80 converters, that's great. Do you? But it's really a good idea to leave yourself some what's called headroom and record with your peaks, peaking around, 12, maybe in every now and then a peak around 6 decibels or so, somewhere around there. But that's a personal preference, so you don't have to listen to me. But the reason why I look so low right here right now is because of my gain staging. But it's going to sound loud because, hello, remember this right here? Yeah, I turned it up a lot, remember? So it's going to sound louder than what you see here. So without applying any type of smooth auto-tune methods that I show how to do in a video tutorial, another video tutorial, or anything like that, just by itself, I mean, it sounds kind of cool, right? I know you like it, so I'ma cruise real slow when I'm passing by. Alright, nothing spectacular. There's no effects. There's no EQ or compression or reverb to make it sound like it's in another dimension, alright? So, there you go. I just recorded a piece of vocal while monitoring with Autotune on there. What does that do? What is the whole purpose of this tutorial? I haven't got to the bread and the butter yet. What does this do? I'm about to show you because we're going to do some freestyling stuff. And what this does is it allows you to, let's say if I didn't even know all this stuff that I just laid right here, this vocal I just laid, and you're coming up with some stuff, because a lot of you are just need to come up with some stuff first before you even record it, right? The Autotune allows you to sing and try out different verses or different lyrics and different vocal melodies to try and find out what is going to work for the song. And we're going to do that next. All right, first, just know this. There's a dirty little secret as far as this Autotune goes, all right? When you're recording your vocals with Autotune and you're sounding all tight in the microphone, your Autotune sounds tight, well, guess what's happening? You got to change your voice, all right? You got to sing kind of off-key, no matter what. If someone's singing, if you have the best singer in the world singing with Autotune, it's still going to add the Autotune effect because everybody has some natural pitch shift. Now, I know someone could sing with no vibrato and sing a note with no pitch shift, but if you're singing a song, usually there's going to be pitch drift or, a very micro, minute amounts, all right? And Autotune isn't going to like that. If you have the retune speed set to 0, it's going to, 100% correction, you know what I'm saying? So it's still going to sound like it. So the more you go off key, the more Autotune effect it's going to get. So here's the deal. Here's what I'm getting to. When you're recording this, and someone's listening to you, you're not going to sound the greatest. You're going to sound really crazy. If the wife is walking by the room or someone's in the house and they're walking by your room and you're recording this Autotune stuff, and you're like, yeah, man, I sound tight on this Autotune, dog. And you're all in your head, with the headphones on, doing your little rip or whatever you're doing. People walking by are going to be like, yo, there's someone slaughtering a dog in there. Something's going on in that room. There's some crazy shit going on. We need to get the motherfucking cops out here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to sound crazy. All right, you ain't going to sound all great, basically. You're going to sound way off key, not great. So when when T-Pain, let's say, not nothing against T-Pain, like him, he's fucking making money, you know what I'm saying? When he's in his booth, or whatever booth he's in, and he's recording his Autotune, the people there, they know the deal. They know, okay, T-Pain's going to be working the Autotune, so he's going to sound kind of crazy to us, but inside of him, they're probably monitoring the vocal too. They have people listening to the Autotune too, you know what I'm saying, inside their own headphones. But if you didn't have headphones on and you're just chilling in the studio and you're like listening to T-Pain do his little Autotune stuff, you'd be like, holy shit, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Because he ain't, like, let's say if you just walked into the studio, you didn't even know who T-Pain was, and someone didn't know that Autotune session was going on, and they just walked up in the booth, or, because they worked there or whatever, some mixer, engineer or whatever walks in there, and, he doesn't know the deal, and then everybody's jamming out, shaking their head like, yeah, it's the best song in the world, and fucking T-Pain's in there ripping it, and then he's fucking listening to T-Pain, and he's like way off key, and he's like, well, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I'm saying? I keep going. I know I'm going on and on about that, but just know you're not going to sound the greatest. So it's probably something you might want to do by yourself, and if you're going to be doing this shit in a real studio, I recommend you have a project studio at home, and you first know how the flow's going to go and how it's all going to go, and then when you get to the real studio, you can actually do the real recording, and you know what I'm saying? You'll know exactly what you got to do and get it done quicker or whatever, how that works. So, again, the big thing is you are going to change your voice. Your voice is going to sound kind of crazy. You'll notice as you experiment with Autotune in real time, to get like the high falsetto sounds, you're going to have to do some falsetto singing with your voice, and it's going to sound kind of crazy. And I've already went over that about 1 million times. Just know, all right? So we're going to enable this Autotune, and we're just going to come up with some stuff off the top of our heads, and we're just going to see, how the flow would go. What can we do with this real-time Autotune? How is it can be used? How can it can be used as a tool to come up with a melody? So we'll come up with a melody. We'll just come up with some new lyrics here and see what we can come up with. Might fumble around, mess around, because nobody's perfect, and this is all freestyle shit. So we'll see what happens.